Okay, welcome back to CTTP. Isaac Miracles, Danny the Barber. We have a brand new guest, Samuel Harrouch, who is the brother of the famous Rabbi Dov Arush we had recently. So thank you for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure, guys.
Samuel is a mortgage specialist at BMO. He is 37 years old, married with two kids.
That's right.
Côte Saint Luc native. We're going to talk about faith. We're going to talk about going out of faith. We're going to talk about work, family life. We're going to talk about everything that people don't like to talk about.
Exactly.
Right? We're not going to try to cover up, because the whole idea of Barber Talk is not only to speak to people that are doing
the perfect thing,
the perfect thing, or I run this association or that association. We want to speak to the day-to-day working hard men, and we really want to get all different perspectives. So we're super happy to have you on.
Thank you to having me, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. And let's crack this open.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, first of all, I think it's fair to say that the Jewish community, the global Jewish community, has been rocked. Okay,
yeah, nothing to hide there.
We haven't even begun to hear all the stories of October the 7th and Pitom.
Yeah,
where we're hit with this horrible massacre in Australia. We're shoved into Chanukah, which is a holiday of hoda'ah and being thankful.
Yeah.
And we're facing another massive paradox.
Yeah, big time. I just saw the video of the guy who came to stop one of the shooters.
Right.
That was, talk about sacrificing yourself.
Totally.
Like that's what we are, like we're family, everyone. You could be somewhere else in the country, somewhere else across the globe, but
right,
you're a Yid.
There's a lot to say about this, but I figured it's appropriate, first of all, for us to start off this podcast by sharing our condolences with really the whole Jewish community in Australia. It's shocked our world. What can I say?
Of course, you have to pray.
When you live outside of Israel, you feel everywhere in the world it's your house,
Yeah, right,
because you're so far from Israel, and especially now with social media, everything close to you, you feel like it's next to your house. When the 7 October happened, my wife told me go lock the door, but as I we're in Canada, but people feel it so close to them.
It's not far-fetched anymore. I'm sorry to say, but it's I feel like this is coming to the world for them to finally make such a clear distinction. Like, can you see how this is wrong? I don't care where you're at politically.
Yeah,
I don't care if you support Israel or you don't support Israel, or you think this about you, but do you see where it's wrong for a man and a man and his son, a father and his son? Okay, think about that relationship. To go on a public beach and shoot people like it's a video game.
Yeah, it's just
if you don't have a moral barrier,
Tempest,
if you can't say that's wrong, or already if you start to lean towards the Mossad is behind this, the Israelis orchestrated this, something doesn't make sense in this story, but you see that there are thousands, if not millions, of people that are already going in that direction.
Yeah, it's very hard for us to find a way to make this understood by the rest of the world that these things are not normal, and that shouldn't be it shouldn't even be in the conversation,
right?
Something like this, you accept the fact that this is not something that should happen in this world. The world we live in is it's supposed to be about love, it's supposed to be about family, friendships, yeah, you have work, you have religion in there and all that, but that shouldn't affect the way you treat other people. You know what I mean? That's not the way I was brought up, and that's not the way I know most of the people I grew up with were brought up. It's just a mentality, right? Be nice to your v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, right? It doesn't have to.
That's universal.
Yeah, but that's universal. That's what I'm saying, is that it doesn't have to be to another Jew. It's to anyone,
100%.
And I,
100%.
Even in my line of work, I work with a lot of people from different ethnicities, and I've never had this type of problem. Why? Because we understand. We're the person we have nothing to do with what's going on in a political war. Like
Right.
you're just, these two people, this father and son, if it has to do with like reacting to what's going on overseas or whatever,
Right.
like why are you taking this into your own hands? Like, what are you gonna make a difference with? Like if there's nothing there. It's just it's inhumane, in my mind.
Yeah.
And I think, like, the way we're seeing the reactions, whether it's on one side or the other, I just think it's, it has no part in this world. It shouldn't be here.
100%.
Yeah.
Anyways, I know we kind of started off this podcast
On a
but
tangent.
We had to listen. We had to, even though we're Montreal Jewish community here, we had to really state that, and I think that's a good bridge maybe to kind of open up. So, I mean, you're Rabbi Dov's brother, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
You don't look like a rabbi. You're not dressed like a rabbi. So let's kind of go. Tell us about your upbringing.
Yeah. So look, like I said, I grew up in Côte Saint Luc. I'm from a very simple Moroccan Jewish family. My family was not religious, and believe it or not, even if Dov is a rabbi right now,
Right.
he was not a rabbi before.
Right.
I'm sure he cut to those little ideas before, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, we grew up. They grew up in a
Right.
more
Traditional
way.
Right.
When I was born, my dad had his own epiphany at that point,
Right.
and he started growing in religion, and
Yeah.
his mindset was that, okay, like, he was gonna bring me up that way.
Right.
So it kind of like, it was a bit different because, my mom was not there 100% at that point. My mom ended up being in the same mindset as my dad later on. But for the start, it was very hard for her, like we had, most of her family on her side, they don't have that kind of mindset. They're more traditional, not a lot of them are Shomer Shabbat or eat kosher or anything like that. So, my cousins were brought up all together. My mom had 12 brothers and sisters. So we're 36 first cousins.
Wow.
So,
That's a lot.
we every Sunday was at Tatalia's house, at the pool, It was a mindset that was different than what my dad was trying to bring in, right?
Wow.
So,
but what was his? That's interesting. I've heard multiple stories like this where the dad gets inspired and he's like, "Ça y est, on fait Shabbat."
Wow.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
he came in.
It ain't a smooth roller coaster.
No. He came in and threw everything out, like all the non-kosher stuff, like it was like a one-time, like, a cold turkey move, that my mom was like, "Hey, whoa, what are you doing?" So,
in fact, we have in my family, I think I'm not going to say any names over here, but somebody dreamt of like a major tzaddik. I think it was Chaim Pinto, came to him in his dream. He's like, "Fils, tu dois faire tshuva," something like that. Woke up the next morning, like super clear to him. You know what I mean?
It's also the Moroccan vibe, right?
The wife and the kids couldn't follow at that pace.
Yeah, for sure.
It ain't a smooth transition, huh?
No.
I heard a rabbi talking about it. He say if you one day wake up and you want to be fully religious, you're not allowed to take your kids with you and your wife.
Wow.
You can do your thing,
right?
Wait for them to come to you, but if not, it's avera.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah, I think now we're hearing a lot more of those voices, but I'm telling you,
back in the days, it wasn't
back
like
in
that.
the days, it's like
when the dad made a decision, it was what it was, right? That's all,
No, like... it's like today, it's not. We have to be super sensitive today. I feel with this because you gotta even with ourselves.
And he said Rabbi Nachman talk about it.
How to go slowly? You're saying to go slowly.
To go slowly, first of all, and also you have to have ayin tova on your kids, on your wife.
Right.
It's not because you high and the here. You're not here. If you here and you think they're here, it's a problem.
It's a problem.
You.
Yeah, big time.
Of you.
Yeah,
but it's not only that. You see the biggest names in the Torah, like Moshe Rabbeinu. You see Shmuel HaNavi. Like all these people, their kids didn't follow in their footsteps. Like those are the biggest names. Like when you say Moshe ve'Aaron, Shmuel bekorei shemo, right? So these three are like the biggest
Yeah.
people, but their kids, look at Aaron's kids, like they ended up getting like basically taken away from by God, because they made a mistake. So, there's the mentality where you can think like, oh, I'm gonna be like this, so my kids are gonna follow in my footsteps.
Yeah.
No, like that, you can't push that onto people, and I think that's where we had our little conversation before the podcast, where like,
Right.
for me growing up, so my dad decided to make this decision, right?
Oh, yeah, so sorry, before I got that, how did he have that epiphany? Like,
So well, he started following this Rabbi Mordechai Shriki.
oh sure,
Amazing rabbi,
Yeah.
Ramchal, all
He
the
was
way.
a rabbi at Bet Rambam for a
Of
long time.
course, yeah. And then he went to Israel, and so my dad was like, my
Burnt.
dad has books that he
Ramchal.
wrote of him writing what Rabbi Mordechai Shriki is writing.
Wow,
Like my dad is a big artist, poet, all that stuff.
Yeah, he's very
So
artistic.
yeah, so he has like books and books and books, like you wouldn't even be able to
Wow.
believe it, where he takes, when he does something, he goes all the way.
He goes full
so
force,
yeah.
yeah.
So he really like felt the Ramchal vibe, and he went into it. And
Ramchal is deep,
it's
bro.
deep, man. It's deep, and it's but it's amazing though. What I mean? It teaches you how to live. Mesilat Yesharim is like there's nothing like that.
Studying it now. Yeah.
Like you see me how I look, and you think probably this guy doesn't know
anything
about religion. But I mean, like I grew up my whole life living that mindset, right? So my dad got that epiphany, and at that point, it so happens that Yavne was opening up, right?
So this is like 1991.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm born in '88, so
Yeah,
what I mean, like
Makes
it's
sense.
literally I was the first promotion of Yavne.
Wow.
Like ever. So me and the son of Rav Sadia, we grew up our whole lives together. Like it's
Mayor.
of course.
And
Mayor,
you grew up also with Inon, no?
Inon, Nisim, everyone.
Oh,
like all these
gosh.
people, they're like my like we grew up so close because we were like 8 people in a class, like for 14 years.
You guys were the guinea pigs of
Yeah, I swear, I call ourselves the guinea pigs, but I mean it's the truth of the matter,
But
like
you guys paved the way for
did.
my son,
There you go.
who now is in yeshiva,
Mhm.
and he completed full high school,
There you
and
go.
he's like flourishing.
There you go. Baruch Hashem. That's the idea, is that we went through that. Now again, it's got its ups and downs.
Yeah.
Also, the idea of the fact that my mom, like I said, was not all the way 100% with it, but she wanted a good education, Jewish education for me.
Yeah.
So she said, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Wow.
I went to Yavne. It was, I grew up that way, right? So at the start I didn't know, but every time I would have my friends from school and then my family, like
Clashes.
it was a big clash, so it ended up that like I felt a little bit force fed about it, like and I felt like I didn't really have my say in it,
Yeah.
It so happens that I would gel way more with people from my Manid, like my cousins, or
Yeah.
like people like that like I felt like I was like, oh, do I really belong here? You know what I mean? Like, is this really where I want to be? So I feel like that's what brought me to my second stage in life, where like I basically said, okay, I haven't experienced anything on the other side, I never didn't believe in God, right? My faith is probably my biggest strong suit, right? But I feel like I myself decided that, okay, look, I'm gonna go and try these things out. I did a bunch of things. I went to a bunch of places. I was, like completely out of it.
Was it like you must wear a kippah at home all the time?
So it's not only that, it's like it wasn't like that at home, right?
Okay.
Because home was different,
Right.
That was the biggest clash, is that like I
Right.
would be every day somewhere where everything was like full on,
Yeah.
white shirt, black pants,
Yeah.
but then and kippah and tzitzit and all
Yeah.
that. But then would get home and like I'd be watching the hockey game, and like listening to Backstreet Boys at that time, and like my yeah, like no, but the mentality was like, like I would bring that back to school and they'd be like, what are you doing? Like, and I was like, what? This is normal, no? Like, but it wasn't, I was like the black sheep, like, and
You see, this doesn't exist in Israel. I'm sure you
Yeah,
could.
of course.
No, it
No,
exists.
it exists, but it's different because there's two
No,
different
in my
types of
vibe, yeah.
lifestyles, right? There's
It's either you're fully secular, okay,
Black and white.
Or-
Today, the gray zones start to be.
yeah.
But in my time,
Yeah.
we didn't watch TV. We didn't
Right.
had a
And have
neighbor
access,
with
yeah.
TV.
I
Yeah,
know.
there you go.
We
You see
didn't
what I
have-
mean? Like,
Right.
It's like us. It's only the kids that has a grandparents that are religious,
Uh-huh.
and when
They
they
would-
went to
yeah.
them,
Okay.
You wouldn't believe what I
I'll have to
saw.
talk about
You know?
it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? Like it was that's what it was. You know, when I brought like I remember like it's yesterday bringing like literally like a Backstreet Boy CD
Right.
to school,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and getting it confiscated because
Right.
like, you know, what are you doing?
Non-Jewish
you
music,
know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
what is this? You
Yeah.
know, like which was normal. I mean, the mindset of the school is not that, you know,
Right.
it's just that I was brought up differently. You understand? So I feel like that pushed me towards my second stage.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was
It's almost like the lack of tolerance creates a hunger or
does, but
or a
if-
search
the
on
forbidden fruit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like in my mind, that's, you know, the most perfect human being in the world, Adam Arishan.
Right.
Perfect, made
Yeah.
by God.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he got tempted.
There
You
you
know,
go.
that like I
Yeah.
mean, for me, that's like it's a
Yeah,
no-brainer. You
yeah.
know, like that's the biggest weakness of men. You know,
Yeah.
like men, women, whatever. I'm saying like human,
Yeah.
right? Your temptation is gonna be your failure. So you gotta, and you know, and you fail every day. Everyone fails. You know, like, but it's all about, you know, like I feel personally, you know, again, like this is my traditional,
Yeah.
not too religious,
Yeah.
but yet not religious
Yeah, yeah.
mindset that like, you know, you have your own relationship with God, you know, like
That's right.
God knows exactly how you think, you know, he knows what you want, he knows what you're trying to do. So now he's gonna put like little barriers in front of you, and you got to figure it out. Either you're gonna fail, you're not gonna fail, but sometimes you fail and it's okay. You know what I mean? Like I don't think, you know, God is black and white. I don't think he's you know, like you do this wrong, then that's it, it's over for you. Because if
Right.
it was like that, then we
It would have been the show would have been over a
Yeah,
long
exactly.
time ago.
you know what I mean? Like the idea is that, you know, God is Rahman, and
Yeah.
he's the perfect model, right? The person that understands mistakes, understands that, you know, in life you're gonna learn from your mistakes, you know.
Do you think your parents, in hindsight, maybe from your father's perspective, did he ever like have a conversation with you like, I realized I kind of went too fast?
I think for him, no.
Okay.
But I think he understood, because in the end, I ended up graduating from Maimonides. I
Oh,
went
you
my
switched
last year.
schools. You
Last year.
switched schools.
Last year I switched school.
They took you out.
Yeah. Well, they didn't take me out.
You got
I got
it.
out.
Yeah. They got you out.
But listen, it was a friendly goodbye.
Friendly exit.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, in
It's
the end,
tough, huh? Going to grade 11,
grade 11, yeah.
all those
but the
relationships.
thing is that
yeah.
I was built for that. You understand? I was built for that mindset. So
Uh-huh.
it did. I meshed in right away.
Wow.
You understand? Like it was. I should have been there, and it would have probably. I mean, hindsight 2020, right? But I think I would have flourished more in religion if I was
Over
in
there.
that
Interesting.
perspective, right?
Interesting.
Because the idea is that I wouldn't have been force fed. I would have had my own time to have my own epiphany. Well,
Yeah.
I had my epiphany at 24 years old, 23 years
Wow.
old. You know, like it was
Yeah.
it was late. You know,
Yeah.
like I didn't know what I was really gonna do until
Sure.
then. You know, so you know it's you can't predict these things, right? But when it happened, and you know, I graduated from there, and I think that at that point my dad saw like, okay, yeah, maybe he would have been okay over there also. You know, like
That's very interesting. I think back also to the decisions me and my wife did also for, you know, bringing our kids to Yavne and coming with our background. And I'm not a black and white guy. You know what I mean? I my whole life is integration.
But
And
Yavne, it's not just black and white.
No, it's not. But I mean, listen,
it's not it.
as soon as you have a system in a school,
Mhm.
you're obligated to have certain boundaries.
Mhm.
You have to. Okay. It's any single system is going to have that. All right. But you know, there's different types of parents and stuff like
That's
that.
what it is. It's that it's not black and white,
Right.
But there's like a code.
Right.
You see what I mean? And I think, you know, it's not a bad code. It's actually
Right.
the right code
But-
for
right.
them.
You have to
But-
understand, when I came to
Montreal,
Katlanuk
yeah.
and people told me Yeshiva Yavne.
Yeah.
Yeshiva?
It's not a yeshiva, buddy.
It's not a Yeshiva.
Yeah. For you, it's
But-
not.
Well,
that's
for me, I didn't even go to a Jewish school.
So
okay?
there you go.
So when
The extreme
just
is
putting
different.
my kids in a Jewish school where yes, there's secular studies, but there's the Kodesh. I was like, this is perfect. You know what I mean? And
And for them, it's the night.
but my sister, for example, we both did tshuva probably around. Well, she's younger, but she kind of like did it. She put her kid in my nephew in Lubavitch. No secular studies.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like us.
Again, there was some issues there too, because coming from our background,
Mm-hmm.
the way we grew up and what we were taught, we still believe that certain other studies were important. You know what I
course.
mean?
Are your parents still alive?
So my father passed away a long time ago,
Oh,
but my
sorry.
mom is. Hashem should give her a long life.
Amen.
And I I can relate to you, man.
Right.
When I got my epiphany, I was a bulldozer,
Yeah.
and I had no guidance. I mean, guidance. I did have guidance. I had rabbanim,
Yeah, but
but
your soul's opening up to God. It's a different
yeah,
mindset.
it's
man.
like,
you're like
Mom,
you're
it's like the dishes are not like we
Yeah,
gotta bring
yeah.
these dishes to the mikveh.
What?
Quel mikveh? Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire ça?
What?
On va passer au Maroc, all that shit. You know what I mean? The whole,
That's why,
you know
bro,
what I
it's
mean?
exactly
We never
it.
did this in Morocco.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was hardcore, man.
Yeah, man.
And thinking now I'm 45, like for sure I would have done things differently. For
Yeah.
sure I would have gone slower, but there was no stop. It was too much. It was such a search and a chipus that it broke certain things, you know.
Yeah, of course. And it's like a train wreck, you know?
Yeah.
Like it literally like
It pays in its way,
Yeah.
but you have collateral damage.
of course. There you go.
You
That
know?
was the perfect word, yeah.
When I see people, they come from zero
Right.
and they go so excited
So fast, yeah.
and they damage everybody.
They burn
around
bridges,
them.
yeah. It's about
This
that.
is
Yeah, and they
like
get
a
motivated,
black
that's it,
hat,
yeah.
Big pilot.
Yeah, but that's the thing,
and
is that's
2
why
minutes, and for them the parents, they're not worth it
Nothing, right?
anymore.
Yeah. But
Her
that's why like you have to the epiphany has to happen at a certain good timing, you know what I mean? Like it can't just be
It's got to be dosed, I think. It's
first of
gotta-
all, it's got to be dosed, but second of
Yeah.
all, it's also got to be like at the right time. Because like for example, my dad, you know,
Yeah.
like it's late in life, you know, so like it's, you know, you're completely destabilizing everything, you know.
Yeah.
Like when I had my epiphany, I was 24, 25.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't married yet.
Right.
You understand? Like I came back to Montreal and I found my middle ground, you know,
Right,
like
yeah.
it's there's, you know, I didn't have anyone to hurt. You understand? If anything,
I don't think the person that has the epiphany though is it really intentionally trying to
No,
hurt.
of course not.
You know what I mean? It's
I don't think he's trying to hurt, but he's in a high level.
Yeah.
You know,
the light
And-
is
and
blinding.
not-
The light is blinding. You have
it's
to say
collateral
it.
damage, like you said.
The light, the or of the tshuva that a person experiences is so blind. Look, lahavdil a million times. Okay, just make a very, very important distinction. We start off the podcast with this horrible trial. Okay, what do you think is going through the mind? Okay, what do you think the father and son? What do you think they're thinking and believing? They're thinking, "I'm doing a mitzvah."
Yeah.
It's for sure that's what they're thinking.
It has to be something like that.
It's
right?
got to be something like that. You understand?
Yeah.
So again, here we're talking about a spiritual light that is completely distorted into killing people. But listen, you know, if you compare that towards a father or somebody that gets inspired and that has a certain, you know, environment that he's, you know, whether he's single or whether he's married, whatever it may be, and he's bringing in, let's call it violent changes, it's the same idea. Today, I understand this from a much different level, that I have to really be careful with the recipient, or with, you know, how is it implemented? You know, today my approach is a lot more careful, a lot more slow, so that I don't, you know, hurt people around me, and I need to see where they're at. But it took me a while to get there.
Of course, because at
You
the
know?
start you think you're doing everything right.
You think it's
know?
the Sham Shabbat, you think
Of
you're what are you talking about? It's
course.
written.
Yeah.
Oh, it's written.
Yeah.
It's written.
There you go. That's it.
No, because it's like in that situation, people, when they get light, they think
They become less tolerant. And that's the irony, is that if you are really opening up your heart to the spiritual and to a higher level of truth, you should become more tolerant. But you see that most people can't handle the light properly. and they become less tolerant and they become strict and they cause collateral damage.
You expect from them to be more smart than
Yeah.
a person
Yeah.
doesn't have that light and to
Mhm.
think outside the box, but they cannot.
Right.
And then it's take a lot of work and
Big
to
time.
be able not to judge, to be able not to not to put people on the spot,
That's
because
right.
sometimes you see on the street people, they're religious. I don't know, here you don't see it, but
Right.
No, but there's a
in
big
Israel you see it a lot. People start
Yeah, they start. Yeah. The rocks.
Yeah.
and stuff like this in Shabbat.
Right.
You doing avera to stop
Right.
somebody doing
Right.
avera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
You can't do that.
So let's just get back to your story. So you
Yeah, sure.
basically, your dad has this epiphany. You're in this religious school, Yavne. You come home. You're watching hockey games, listening to Backstreet Boys, and
It's gonna be the highlight of the podcast.
Exactly.
Right there, you know?
Yeah.
Shot myself in the foot.
Exactly. And
It's not my main taste in music there, but
I
I mean,
hear you.
I was 12 years old, so
bro, who did not like
No, come on,
Backstreet
man.
Boys? Come on, it was
Yeah,
catchy
exactly.
tracks. All right.
Yeah.
So then, okay, so Dove is growing. He's probably going through his epiphany too.
Yeah.
Okay, what happens then? What?
So so then
you go to
I
Maimonide,
I
right?
go to Maimonide, I
Yeah.
graduate, go to CJEP,
Mm.
my mind gets blown.
Yeah, it's
right,
like,
about-
ooh, there
yeah.
are other people in Canada.
Exactly. You know, like you go to the Jew Caf, you see what's going on over there.
Yeah,
Then we go, like first of all, that was a big culture shock for me. Like,
right. The Jew
especially-
calf, the Italian calf,
dude,
the
it was insane. It was
Wow.
insane. It was you can't understand because first of all, I came from 8 people in the class. Then I went to a class of 30 people, and I was
Wow.
like, whoa,
yeah.
And then I went from there to like, you have 4 classes for one teacher. It's like it's insane.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a big culture shock for me. But at the same time, that was when I was not in my most religious stage.
Sure.
So I was, I was having a great time. I was learning different things, meeting different people. Like I had really close friends that were Italian.
Yeah.
I really had a different type of life at that point. You know what I mean? I was like, and look, Dove was in his epiphany. He was becoming a rabbi. He was in the
Right.
process of becoming a rabbi. So
Right.
he would talk to me and be like, so what's going on religion wise? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like it's
Yeah.
right. It's another world. I'm not
Yeah.
in that now, like
Yeah.
leave me alone, but that was my mindset, and I went to CJEP, I went to university. Then I decided to go work, make money.
Yeah.
So one of my good friends came up to me after like a year or two of working, and he asked me if I wanted to go with him to the Keys in Florida.
Oh yes.
To-
Make some money selling t-shirts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
like
sir.
doing what you got to do. Like
Yeah.
my brother's there. Let's go. We're gonna go there.
We're gonna
Everything's
pick
be
up
great.
girls there.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
awesome. So I did that. I said, yeah, sure, let's do it. Like I just left on a whim. During that time, my mom got sick.
Mhm.
And I honestly I wasn't able to see like this superhuman person not be herself anymore, and it was like killing me. So leaving was actually for me like sort of an escape, which
Wow.
I mean I don't regret, but I mean like it was part of my chemin. How do you say
Yeah,
chemin?
your
Like
path,
my
man.
path. Yeah, it was part of my path. Like I had to go there, and
Your mother, Alav Shalom, she passed
she
away.
passed
right.
away. So I'll tell you how
Yeah.
this it's crazy. I was in the Keys. I was trying to get my visa done, get everything done to go live there and live a life there. Get married there,
The
do everything
American
I had to.
dream.
The American dream. And then my mom went to the hospital, and at that point I was like, I dropped everything. The next day I was in Montreal.
Wow.
I came back, and when I did that, like I think it was 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, I was living in the hospital every day. She passed away, and
Oh, it was very quick, huh?
yeah, it was. Well, it was. She was sick for like 2-3 years, but it was. She had
Remissions.
like no, it's a sickness that takes on like at a different pace. Like
Yeah.
you could live with it for years, but you can also like
Wow.
it affects the wrong type of parts of your body, and then it
Wow.
can take you away real quick. So So yeah, so anyways, all that said, like I came back thanks to her, like she like
pulled you
this
back.
happened, she pulled me back. She's like, you're not staying there, this is not for you.
Wow.
I came back, she passed away, and then that's when Dov told me, he's like, listen, I'm doing a trip, you've already been on some of my trips. I had done the trips with him and whatnot, Dov's brother, man, it's like, you're the star when you go there, so I did it. I had a great time. And then he told me, listen, come to this one, and if you want, I have someone who's going to sponsor you, and you can go to yeshiva for 3 weeks. I was like, okay, like, why not? Free trip to Israel.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to Israel. I'm going to stay 3 weeks in yeshiva. I'm probably never going to
Let me ask you, if you don't mind, because we kind of skipped over this quickly.
Yeah.
How did you take your mom's passing? Like, how did that hit you? Yeah,
that was one of the toughest things of my life till now. It's there's a lot of things that I wish I could have done differently. Because you always feel like that when you lose someone. You feel like there's so many things you could have done differently to help. To make it easier on them. Maybe you feel guilty. It's like it's a horrible feeling, right? So. But I'm not gonna lie that
How old were you when she passed away?
It was 15 years ago. So I was 22. Yeah,
that's young, bro.
Yeah, man. It was the mother's the pillar of the family. I mean, like there's no question. But I'll tell you, like straight up, like since my mom passed, like everything has been a blessing for me. She's the things she couldn't do here because she was bedbound and unable to. Go to the bathroom. I had to help my mom go to the bathroom. The mindset, like it's so. But ever since then, man, like it's like she's right next to God, saying like, "Hey, like give him this, give him that, find him this, find him that, and I'm just like everything's in front of me, like, and I believe that, what I mean. For me, it's there's no ifs and buts. It's my mom, like there with Hashem. Telling him like, listen, you need to protect my son and my sons, because my brothers also are living a great life. Everyone's happy. We're God willing. We're healthy. Everyone's got kids. Grandkids. There's, it's like it's it's all come from there. So I mean that's what it was. It was just I ended up saying, okay, I don't have much left here right now. Let me go see if Israel's gonna open the door for me. And that's what I did. So I went there.
You went in the year?
Yeah, actually.
Wow.
I went in the year. Yeah. And I stayed there for 3 weeks. It was great in the yeshiva. And then I ended up staying for close to a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I had my religious epiphany at that point, right? So when I was getting this whole epiphany, I was at who's the Rishon LeZion again?
It was
Rabbi David.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's Rav Ovadia Yosef's son.
Okay.
So I went to his yeshiva.
Okay.
That's where Dov brought us to Yechavidat in Har Nof, right? So we were there, and there was this little yeshiva for Bali Tshuva.
Right.
It's called Bali Dat. Right. It was run by Rabbi Levi, who my brother works with like very closely to do Olami and Jewish experience and all that. So I had my epiphany there. Rabbi was a Moroccan rabbi who knew my brother. It was like I got so close. Everything was great. I was like every morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, I was at the mikveh. Like getting ready for prayer, go downstairs, have my cigarette, my coffee, get in to have my do my korbanot, everything. Like I was doing it like to the T, you know. And so happens one day, so I have my cousin who lives in Montreal, who I'm like, he's my best friend, right? So I hadn't spoken to him in like 3 months, and like finally he's like, listen, we need to talk. Like you're over there, I'm over here, let's talk, So
let's catch up.
I ended up calling him late at night for me. So I called him. We stayed on the phone for like 3 hours talking, shooting the shit, and whatnot. And we basically stayed up for a while. So like the next morning, I didn't wake up, So it happens, I closed my phone or snoozed it. Never woke up. Okay. Anyways, I wake up a little late. It's 7:30, 7:45. I'm like, oh no, like I
Right.
get up, I go, I shower. I'm about to get out of the school. I open the door and my rabbi calls me. He's like, close the door, lock the windows. There was an attack at the yeshiva.
Oh
The
my
Har Nof one? Oh my God.
So we all didn't wake up that morning.
You were supposed to pray there.
So they came in to the Yechavidat Minyan first. There was only two people studying. Two people that were studying were a Chavruta after the early Minyan for Yechavidat. For Yechavidat.
Mhm.
One of them was a Hatzala guy who actually saved a couple of lives after. They saw that there was only two people, and they're like, "This is not good enough gain for us." They went around the corner, came into our Bet Amidash. We weren't
Oh my
there.
God.
We would have been 13 kids, right?
God.
20 or younger, 22, 23 younger, They saw no one was there. They went to the next door, and there was a minyan, an Ashkenazi minyan, a rabbi who had given us a class the day before, or the week before. Sorry, my bad. The week before, and they found him on the floor with tefillin, talit. Like he protected a bunch of people to get out with a stender, just pushing them away to not let them get hurt.
Wow.
Anyways, but when this happened, my sister-in-law, who's Dov's wife, was in Israel in Har Nof with me also,
Oh my
right?
God.
She calls because on the news it said attack at Agassi 1. Agassi
Which
is the
is
street and the address of my yeshiva.
Wow.
She freaked out.
She freaked out.
Like she's like, oh my God, like everyone, like so
I
happens,
wrote a
man.
song about this, by the way. I have a song on this particular.
Wow.
That's
I
crazy.
made it, yeah.
You see?
I can't, but this
Min
I did
hashamayim.
not know.
Yeah.
No, this I did not.
No, but think about it. I didn't wake up. I had woken up. I
But
would have been.
how come what the other people in the Minyan didn't wake up too? I don't get
No,
it.
so us, our
Yeah.
minyan,
Yeah.
would start at 7:30.
Oh.
You understand?
But
I would wake up at
early.
5:45 to go mikveh.
Oh my God.
I'd be downstairs having my cigarette while they would walk in. You understand? So happens that night I spoke to my cousin, like, what are the odds,
You see sometimes, man, in life it's like we're like pions in a chess game.
Of course,
It's
man.
like,
That's
no,
why,
you're not
like,
waking- you're
but
not- this
but
is
I'll
not-
tell you that pushed me away a lot. Also, like it didn't push me away. It just like
Well, it
at that
shook-
point I
it
was just
shook-
like it shook
yeah,
me, and I was
yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna do this, just not in Israel. Like, and like, 'cause this was too scary for me. You know what I mean? Like, I saw the guy from Atala when I got finally down to because I don't know if you know how Har Nof works. It's like a big mountain. It's like a circle, and the streets go around the mountain, so you can be like, and as you go up, it's a different street.
Yeah.
So we were on the tip, like that's where we had our dorm. So we went down finally and went to go see, and like I see the guy from Atala who had invited me for Shabbat to eat dinner, like
Oh, my.
white shirt full of blood, he's like there, like can't believe what just happened. There's 13 people dead. They thought it was 14, but a kid had just fainted, and he woke up to that. Imagine waking up and looking around you and seeing people lying on the floor dead. So anyways, for me it was like a big like red flag. I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna be able to stay here right now. I'm gonna go back to Montreal, but I'm gonna do this way. Like I'm gonna be religious, do it fully, like the same way. Lasted about a month. Like after that, like I was here.
That's a full-on miracle,
it's
bro. That's a full on.
No, for sure,
Yeah.
sure. It's nothing to frown upon. I mean, like to me, like it's a life-changing moment. Like it definitely showed me that my faith was real. That's something that I kept for myself. Like that, I said, listen, if you can't have faith after this, you're like, what are you doing? Like you can't not believe that this is Hashem. Like my best friend, who's my cousin, called me the night before, like come on, like we hadn't spoken in 3 months. Like it's ridiculous. So
and you got to also think about from the other perspective the people that died Kiddush Hashem over there. They're studying Torah in the Bet HaMidrash.
Yeah, they were doing prayer. They had tefillin.
It's such a again a challenge and a. Obviously, we start off this podcast talking about what happened in Australia. It's the same idea.
Yeah,
you're
doing a mitzvah. You're not supposed to be
in
danger.
Come on.
Yeah,
where you're in Ratzon Hashem, and it's like even there, if it's your time to go, it's your time to go.
So that was a big moment for me. Then after that, I came back I basically tried to go to the kollel a little bit and everything. It was tough, man. Like it was, you come back, hockey is back,
You're back in your
I'm
environment.
back in my environment, so I but that's what helped me find my middle, like I found where I am right now, where I put on tefillin every morning. I go to synagogue every Shabbat. I do Shabbat. Like when we got married, me and my wife, because then I met
when
her.
did you get married, by the way?
So I got married like I was 20. No, I was 30. So it was like 3 years or something like that.
Nice.
I basically got married, and when I got married, I wasn't religious still. Like I had let it go again. You understand? Like, and I thought I found a middle, but I didn't. Right? And then I got married. And when I got married, that's when, like, really me and my wife together, we grew. We decided that we were going to, like, at the start, we weren't Shomer Shabbat, we weren't eating kosher. We decided, okay, let's start Shomer Shabbat when she got pregnant, because we're like, listen, our kids, they're going to have to grow up in our environment that we want them to. Yeah. So that's an environment we want, So, okay, so Shabbat. And then we said, okay, now we're not eating non-kosher in the house, and we're eating non-kosher outside. But then we decided, no, okay, we're going to stop doing that too, and then slowly but surely, like things start, you feel Hashem's hand, in this, in your life, the way you're growing, the way you're seeing all these doors open for you. So like, obviously I think, my mom is a big part of that, and that's what, showed me. Like she gave me a wife like the wife I have, which is like can't ask for better. I have 2 beautiful girls, that are growing and healthy, God willing, and nice. There's you have to find your path, and when you find that path, if you're lucky, you find it with someone, and then you can grow together to build.
I think the 3 beautiful words that I think it's the theme of our podcast today. It's slowly but surely.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's really, you see that this is a derech that at least it's integrated. It's well.
That comes from Yavne, by the way. Eh? Like you, because my faith was like, I wasn't able to, like it was, since it was shoved down, right? I decided myself to build that different way of taking it in, where I was going to take it in like slowly, differently, like I built it my way with God's help, right? But that's how I built it for myself.
One of the thank you I have to say the community here, because when I came from Israel, I want to be completely different what I see in Israel, like black and white and everything. I was black, now I want to be white, or whatever. I was white, I want to be black. Yeah. And when I came here and people start to accept me, you're a barber? Wow, it's nice. You did? Wow, it's nice. You pray? Ooh. You study? Wow. And it was in Israel. You don't study enough.
Yeah.
You're a barber,
What is this? It's not a real job.
Stop. And when
extremes.
When I came here and people like really meir panim to me, and this is what give me the nachat on myself, and I said, okay, I'm one part of the community, and I had a place, and what's to have when you grow up in a kid, when you're kid, forget about adults, when you're a kid, you don't, and you feel not it's not like no wanted, you're not part of the game, you're outside, you see on the
sideline. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And when I see people like you, they said, okay, we balance, we stop eating no this, or we start Shomer Shabbat. I said, wow, it takes a lot of courage.
We need tolerance. I really feel that more and more I hear about your story and think about my life and your experience too, is that you see that we need tolerance. We need tolerance because the reality is there are so many different things out there in the world,
different people,
different experiences, and you come with one idea and you expect to bulldoze. It doesn't work.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna happen. It's the idea is that you need to be able to say, okay, this person is this person, this person is this person. they're gonna go where they need to go as long as they're good human beings.
Right.
You know, that's like if you see like my whole path at like I work at the bank, right?
Right.
Like, you know, there's nothing more diverse than that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's a bunch of people from everywhere, you
Right.
know? But like my closest friend at the bank who I speak to on a daily, okay, like I'm saying every single day at least 4 to 5 to 6 times. My colleague, who was my boss.
Yeah.
This guy is Lebanese.
Mhm.
He saw jets, Israeli jets, will fly over his head when he was 13.
Lebanese Christian or Muslim?
His family is Muslim. He's
Modern.
He is modern. Yeah,
Okay.
like he's not himself. He's
Not religious,
He's
let's
not
say.
religious. He's
Yeah.
married to an Italian. Like he's not
Mhm.
not at all.
Gotcha.
You know, but the idea is not that. Is that he's like he'd be more informed about Israel than me and you. Like he reads Eretz every day.
Oh, wow.
You know, like no,
Yeah.
forget it. The guy is very educated.
Mm.
But when we met our first time, he said, "Listen, whatever happens over there is over there. Me and you, we have nothing to do with that.
Right.
Me and you, we're two human beings.
Right.
We both have a family.
Yeah.
Both want to grow.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no hurt there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's nothing to be.
Yeah, I experienced that when I went to public school. All
Of
my friends
course.
were Syrians, Palestinians, Iraqi. I was actually in our crew. I was the Jew in the Arab crew.
Ugh, it's crazy, man.
Okay,
It's-
that was that was the, and yeah, I mean there was little things here and there when certain
stuff
things
got escalated.
yeah escalated, but in general it's like we're going clubbing, we're chilling,
You gotta be a good human being in life.
Yeah.
That's it. You
Yeah.
know, like there's that misconception about if you're this, then you have to be a douche, you know, or you
Yeah.
gotta be an asshole, you know.
Yeah.
Or if you're like this, then you gotta be
Yeah.
a nice guy. And
Yeah.
no, man, like you're just every human is given a chance to show by example. You
Mm.
understand? Show by example. That for me is like such an important part of life, like to be able to say, okay, like, you know, would I do this would I want someone else to do this to me?
right.
You know, like if you can do that, like if you can just put
That's the
yourself in
foundation
someone,
of the Torah, by the way.
of course it is,
Yeah.
but I'm saying
Yeah.
I'm not even bringing it up like
Yeah,
that. You
exactly.
understand? Like
Yeah.
I'm bringing it up as a human being.
Yeah,
Forget
100%.
like in my heart, it's built from the Torah.
Yeah.
That's fine,
Yeah.
but it has to be understood by the rest of the world. How is that
100%.
understood? It's by humanity.
Yeah.
It's just the way we have to act with each other. Like for me, it doesn't mean that I'm against Israel if I think that kids getting hurt in Gaza is bad.
Right.
No, and it doesn't mean that I'm for Israel if I don't care if they killed a general from their army. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's like there's no, you can't. You just have to have like a human aspect to
A
it.
heart.
Yeah, a heart. There you go, man. And it's the hardest thing, man. Like
It is.
you see the world the way it's built and the way where it's going. Like, man, no one thinks like that. If you don't have the right values in your
We
life,
push people into boxes with preconceived labels. And,
God, man, it's like it's
Yeah.
it's depressing. Like it's, you don't want to live like that. Like at this point, like I'm telling you, like I would love to go to Israel and live there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like live that lifestyle. But is it scary? Yeah, of course it's scary. You know what I mean? Like I've lived it firsthand. Do I want to bring my kids into that?
Mhm.
Like what tells
hear.
you like I don't I don't pick up the phone till 6 a.m. that night. You know what I mean? And
I hear.
like it's very hard. It's very hard.
Let's talk about your work. So how
Yeah.
long you been working at the bank?
The bank I've been there for, it's gonna be 8 years January.
Wow,
So,
8 years,
yeah,
huh? It's a long time.
Yeah, it's
So, I mean, so you didn't wake up one morning and be like, I want to be a mortgage specialist. How did you?
No, not at all. I'll tell you, man. It was a journey for that also, because finding your path in work also
Career.
is a big thing,
Yeah.
because it's gonna have to do with religion. It's gonna have
Yeah.
to do with everything,
Yeah.
So, I was actually working at Ernie's and Ellie's.
Yeah.
The
The famous poo poo platter.
Oh my god!
Remember
man,
that?
the poo-poo platter, man.
Remember that poo poo platter?
I remember. I used to buy the gel for the.
Yeah,
for-
underneath.
yeah, for you light it up, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I used to work there. I was managing there for a friend who had
Yeah.
bought the business. It was great, like I was having a good time. But I mean, I felt like the business wasn't gonna really keep going, you know. And the guy was maybe thinking of selling, you know, and whatnot. So I was like, okay, listen, I have to start over, and I can't do the restaurant life anymore. I want to have kids, you know, like I was working like 15, 16-hour shifts, which was completely natural to me, but my wife was like, what are you doing? You know, like she was like working her 9 to 5. She's like, this is not normal, you know, like. So I said, listen, you know what, maybe I'm gonna go see that type of lifestyle. And I dropped everything. So I went from making a very decent salary, right, to getting an in from a friend, randomly got a call from the bank, call back, you know, from putting my CV in. Like I wasn't even expecting to go to the bank. And they gave me a job as a teller, you know, starting with like nothing, man.
BMO.
Like, BMO, you know, they gave me a shot. And first thing I told them is that I'm not working on Shabbat.
Wow.
That was the first thing I said to the person that was hiring me at HR. And they were like, okay, we'll work around that. You know?
We'll give them the Jewish clients.
Yeah.
We'll give them the Jewish clients.
So yeah, no, but I started.
A doctor told me he has a brother and he put like straight, I'm not working on Shabbat. And they say yes. And he said, I should do that. And he did it. And
now he's working on Shabbat. Yeah, it's listen.
He's a doctor. He's allowed. But
but still, it's like, you know, when you put those boundaries there, you know what I mean? It opened the door for so many other things, like for holidays, you know, like thank God, I had like great people that were, you know, like great supervisors, great managers that took care of me there. You know what I mean? Like the system there is built beautiful. But I did do like a growing in a quick manner, you know, like I started very low at the bottom of the food chain, right? And usually it takes a bit longer than what it takes to get to become a mortgage specialist. But I hustled, you know, and I did a lot of good work for my bank. And I ended up getting this opportunity, which came from that Lebanese guy.
Wow.
Who was my manager, who ended up taking this job and asked, you know, like pushed for me to go and work there. And now we're colleagues. We're, you know, like close to best friends.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so now I've been doing this for about 4 years now, close to 4 years. And basically it's been great. Like it's a very different market now than it was about 5 years ago. Like 5 years ago, people were just applying for mortgages because the money was practically free.
You had to put like zero down.
Yeah, no, it's like the rates were low and so like, you know, people were just like, you know, buying and now the market has changed and people are, you know, like wondering what they're gonna do. A lot of people who signed their mortgages on like very low rates before, they're up for renewal right now. This is going to be the biggest renewal bubble that we've had in the last, I think, like 10-15 years, you know. So like right now you're going to have people who are gonna not know if their payments are gonna grow, if their payments are gonna stay stable because they've paid off enough of their property. But the idea is to, you know, I wanted to also bring this up in the podcast that you know, if people in the Jewish community that if they need help with discussing this opportunity for them, you know, like sometimes it's or they're scared that what's going to happen, or they have more plans now and they have more availability in their mortgages or whatnot.
Let me ask you, well, what's the difference between, okay, so you work for BMO.
Yeah, I work.
Naturally, you're going to push BMO.
Of course.
Right. So what's the difference? So between a mortgage specialist, a mortgage broker, who apparently is what, I guess, like...
so the mortgage broker basically takes the client's information and...
We'll shop
around to about 4 or 5 different banks, right?
Because that's the only options we have, right?
Yeah. Usually you have 2 options, right? You go with a broker or you go with your bank. So now when you go, the idea is that BMO is not part in Quebec. They're not part yet of the mortgage broking system. So when someone's offering something for getting an offer from mortgage broker, he's not getting anything from BMO, right? So right now, you know, that's not part of it.
So a mortgage broker would not get a rate from BMO?
No.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
So I mean, but that's
so they can't be fully impartial then.
Yeah, they can't. You know, but at the same time, the idea is that it's the type of service that we give, right? It's a one-on-one. It's like, you know, I hold the hand of my clients from pre-approval all the way through to the notary. You know, I'm very white glove service. You know, that's. But
how often are you in touch with your clients? Because listen, like after you. My experience with the mortgage broker or more, it's like once you're with the bank, you're not talking to the guy until the next time
That's what I'm
You
saying.
you got to renew.
That's the difference between brokers and the mortgage
I see what
specialist.
you're
Because since you're dealing with the bank and I'm representing the bank,
Gotcha.
I gotta, like I make sure that you're in good hands. I even the people that you're gonna be sent to at the branch are people that I know, that I'm personally referring you to. You know what I mean? That you get that service. It's like the extension of my hand, basically, right? I'm giving you this service, so the people that I'm giving you to are going to give you the same type of service as well, you know. So that's something that's very important for me. Like I find, there's different ways to be a broker or a mortgage specialist or whatnot. There's working on a deal and not caring about what's going to happen for that person, and you're just trying to get that deal done. Or there's people like me who work like more close-knit communities, close-knit to people, so that I give them the service so that it's not just their mortgage I'm going to do. It's their mortgage, their family's mortgage, their cousins.
So how do you find new clientele? Mostly referrals, I guess.
So it could be referrals, but it could always be also word of mouth. People see the service that I give and they go and basically say, okay, next time someone speaks about a mortgage to them, they're like, yeah, you got to go see Sam. He's going to give you that service that you're looking for. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's worth more than like 10 basis points on a mortgage, right? Because you're going to get that service, or you're going to get the feeling you got where like, oh, I'm not going to speak to this guy.
Yeah,
right?
but like, I mean, look, from you tell me your experience, but like, when I was looking to shop around and even switch banks, it's like, I don't really care. I just want to get the best rate. Yeah, I want to pay less.
No, as me opposite.
I
don't care about the rate. Point here, point there.
You want the service.
I want the service.
Well, come on, you're not going to take the service if it's a higher rate.
Okay, so again,
I took 2.4 when it was Corona. I couldn't get 1.9.
Oh wow!
And I took 2.4 because the lady there, she helped me so much because
you felt
I couldn't do it without her. Wow. She helped me with the papers. She go to Quebec. You have to understand. No speaking English.
Yeah.
No speaking English.
It's a special type of client.
It's the nightmare.
Yeah, of course.
She helped me with everything.
That's amazing.
No,
she
look,
helped
it's
me with everything.
Right now, I'll tell you, the everyone's very competitive in the market.
What's the best rate these days?
I'm not allowed to give numbers here. I can't give numbers, but I just tell you, like,
crazy good. Do you get paid? Do you get paid commission when you bring people in?
Obviously, you don't do things for free.
Right. No, but I'm curious. The mortgage specialist at BMO, does he get paid a commission when he brings somebody in, or is he getting just a general salary?
I'm based on commission only.
The whole thing is commission.
Commission, no basic income.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So, but what I'm trying to get at is this, that rates right now are very competitive, which means that every bank is in the same boat.
Okay.
Understand? This renewal bubble, what's going to do is that some banks are going to lose clients.
Right.
Some banks are going to gain clients.
Yeah.
Why? Because people are going to leave from one bank to get a better deal here.
Yeah.
Go to another bank to get a better deal there.
Makes
right?
sense.
So the idea is this. There's so many people that are going to be in this situation that they just need to talk about it. Understand?
And the service is really going to differentiate. I mean, that's where service is going to differentiate.
There you go.
When the rates are super close, and for sure you're going to want to do business with somebody that's going to take care of you.
10 basis points on a mortgage of $500,000 is not a hefty difference.
Right.
You understand? It's not gonna. You're not gonna feel it like, oh, on a $1 million mortgage, $2 million mortgage. There it'll be painful. You understand? But on a regular mortgage, that's for a regular purchase around our area, people are not gonna really feel it in that way, and they're gonna say, okay, you know what? Listen, for 10 basis points, I'm getting great service from Sam. He's, I know him, I know his brother, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of people feel like that, but there's also the opposite, where people say, you know what, he's part of the community. Do I really want him to know what I make? You know what I mean? Like, there's that mindset, like people have.
How much, what's the percentage of your Jewish clientele?
I mean, right now, not that big.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't concentrate on it. Because the idea is that right now, if I go and just go to people from my community, the odds are they're not gonna. They have another guy who's not in their community that can understand what they're making and do the same work without having me to do it. Right. But the thing is that there's
confidentiality.
Confidentiality that has to be there, and they have to understand that. That like. I'm part. It's part of my job, you know.
Right.
I'm doing numbers. That's what I do, you know. I
Right.
make things work. So, listen, in my mind, the way I see it is, you know, there's opportunities right now for a
Yeah.
lot of people, whether it's to get a better opportunity in terms of their payments or get more money or whatever they're looking for. The idea is that there's nothing wrong. We used to say the grass is not always greener on the other side, but right now there's an opportunity to see if the grass is
Nice.
greener. You see what I mean? So like, you know, if you have that opportunity, especially at renewal, where you know you're not gonna get slapped on the hand for renewing early, then why not? You know, give it a shot. You know, give yourself.
Well, we spoke before the podcast that
Mhm.
if listeners put "I want Sam," they get some sort of right.
No.
Really not? Okay, all right.
You know, I had the experience with the insurance companies.
Yeah.
A lot of people told me, "Why you took a broker?
Insurance
Forget
company.
about it.
Right.
Do it yourself." I did
Insurance
it
company, right.
myself.
Yeah.
It didn't work out.
Not at all. The first months, I
Yeah.
got the bill this much. Tack. After 3 months, they
Going
up
up.
the
They up
they up the price.
Yeah.
And when I wanted to cancel, it was a whole shtick. You have to
Yeah.
send them a letter.
There's
blah,
a
blah,
penalty.
blah,
There's this,
penalty.
that. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I back to my mortgage broker. I'm paying extra now because
Yeah.
of my mistakes.
Mhm.
Sometimes people think, I can save money. Okay. No, pay that money, go to sleep right, you know?
That's right, man. That's, you see, like, that's the mentality you wish you have in a client. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, we would love, you know, I would love for this to be a trampoline for my business, but that's not
Yeah.
where, like, obviously we came here to have this conversation that we had,
Right.
which was amazing, you know,
Right.
but I mean, in the meantime, if we get that, that's great. But the idea is this, like, I'm part of the community. I'm
Yeah.
part of, you know, you see me around, you know who my family is,
Right.
you know what I do for a living. Come to me and I'll do what I can do to help you. That's my goal.
I want Sam promotion still holds.
Yeah. No, but it's listen, you know, it's the idea is that we really want to help out the community.
What would you be doing if you were not a mortgage specialist? In an ideal world, money's not an issue, Sam. You wake up in the morning, you have your cigarette. You still smoke?
Yeah.
Okay.
Occasionally.
Okay. Yeah. You have your cigarette. You have your coffee.
Where do
Put
I
your
go
temp-
after that?
It's like money's not an issue.
Money's not an issue.
What is Sam doing?
You're gonna laugh, man, but
Go. No, I don't want to. I really want to hear.
I'm gonna be golfing.
Wow.
You want to go? Okay.
I golf a lot in the summer.
Okay.
With
cool.
my teacher.
Really? No way.
With my drum
With the drummer
teacher.
teacher?
Yeah, with Elwa.
Yeah. Elwa. So yeah, no, Elwa, I've seen him a bunch of times on the course. Yeah.
Okay. Here in
But,
Coachella?
yeah, the one in Coachella. But I
Nice.
mean, yeah, no, me and my best friend, we've been golfing for 15 years now.
Golfing.
Yeah, we're
I'm
addicts.
sorry, bro. I find it looks
I
like
knew
the
that.
most boring sport ever.
It's the most difficult sport
Really?
you'll ever play.
Wow.
I'll tell you what. Listen to how it works.
Yeah.
So you get an idea.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bore everyone out
Yeah.
of this.
No,
but-
I know you got to put the ball in the.
Yeah,
ball in the
exactly.
hole,
Got to put
right?
the ball in the hole.
Yeah.
That's the main
Yeah.
thing. But the idea is that every course has a certain amount of strokes it takes,
Right.
okay, to put the ball in the hole.
Yeah.
So you have a total of 18 holes.
Yeah.
Usually, if you want to be on par, which means at 0 strokes, you just
Right.
took the exact amount of strokes
Yeah,
it takes. You got to hit it in 72. Okay?
Mm.
So there's a stat that I think it's only 25% of the world hits under 90 strokes.
Mm.
Only 10% of the world hits under 80 strokes.
Mm.
And only 1% of the world hits under par.
Wow.
Gets scratch, basically, or
Yeah.
hits par, right? So I've broken 80 twice, 3 times last year. So, I mean, I'm part of a 5% of the world, you know, and I suck, you know? So that's how hard the sport is. You know,
Wow.
it's insane.
So you would love to perfect your craft.
Oh man, the thing is that to be good at golf, you plateau at a certain point, right?
Uh-huh.
When you're like just like an amateur
Mm.
player, like here and there, like
Mm.
you're gonna plateau. The idea is that to be able to get better, you got to hit like 1,000 balls a day, like there's no way to do that unless you're not
not
working and you have money to throw away in the garbage, right?
So if anybody has to renew their mortgage and they love golf,
yes, come
they
golfing with
might
me.
want to write "I want Sam."
The idea is that I'll take them to a golf course and we'll play a little round
There
to
you
talk
go.
about the mortgage. You know what I mean? Like,
Ooh,
that's
I
fine.
like.
You know what I mean? Like, they say the best business deals are closed on a golf course. So,
Oh, yes.
like it's listen, it's a great
It's for
sport.
su- It's for sure. It's only rich people can go golf.
It's a rich
it is.
people's
It,
sport, is
it
it
is.
not?
It is definitely a rich
is.
people's sport, and
Uh-huh.
it's not.
Also,
I'm not rich, so
expensive.
that's what's worse about it. You know, so like, I'm a poor man playing golf. You know, so.
You know, people told me it's a very expensive club.
Yeah,
Here in Cthulhu,
here it's
not,
nothing. Here it's peanuts
but
and
when
it's
you-
crap. You know?
Yeah.
but it's but you pay for what you get. You know, like
I remember we used to I don't know if I should say this. We used to sometimes go in
Yeah.
the early years. We used to go in. There used to be a little
yeah, a little hole in the
breach
gate.
in the
Yeah,
fence.
yeah.
We used to do it bodidut over there in the golf course.
Get a golf ball on your head.
I
You know.
took once- when I was dating my wife,
Yeah.
and I was like first getting into like Breslov, so I took her. I'm like, I'm gonna take you a place. She's like, where are you taking me? So I take her to the fence.
It's like fence,
like-
man. She's like, I don't know if I want to go in there.
Yeah, I'm like, this is where I do it, boy, dude. She's like, it's a golf course.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, but it's beautiful, eh?
Yeah, and that's the least beautiful course you'll find.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's.
And what do we have in Montreal? We have 3 months of golf. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. So when I go to Florida on vacation or whatever,
Yeah,
I'll
Florida
play there
must
too.
be.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Beautiful.
You ever think
Yeah.
of doing? A
We
good
do
friend of
virtual
mine,
golf.
David Nataf.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
good friend of mine. I worked with him as well.
he's a mortgage broker.
Yeah, he's a mortgage broker,
Yeah.
and he actually specialized in making sure to do it in Florida too. You ever think about doing kind of like a cross-border?
So the thing is that I represent a bank,
Yeah,
right?
you can't do that.
So
Yeah,
I basically
There's
I
a
only
BMO in Miami.
there is, yeah, but
Oh,
but
really?
yeah, of course,
Uh-huh.
it's BMO Harris. It's a different entity, but it's
it's still
BMO.
connected.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the idea is that I'm only doing residential and I'm only doing it for BMO. So if I were to be a broker,
You're not
then
doing commercial?
I don't do commercial.
Okay.
Just residential. So if I were to be a broker, that would be different because then you can go and get licenses and do
Sure.
like David is doing, right?
Right.
But I specialize in that for now, and
Nice.
for me that's where I see my future. You know,
Beautiful.
and listen, again, times are changing. This is going to be the same type of mentality in terms of mortgages. You're going to see the same type of volume that you saw at the COVID time because it's just
Yeah.
a renewal of that. Now,
Oh, how is AI
oh,
changing the mortgage
Huge.
industry?
huge.
Also-
It's basically there's a bunch of calculations that we have to make.
Right.
You have ChatGPT, or
Yeah.
we have actually our own AI for our bank,
nice.
that we can use. You can go ahead and type in some questions,
Yeah.
get answers real quick. Policies, a lot of policies when it comes to,
Yeah.
to banking. There's
The first question I ask AI about the mortgage:
Yeah.
how much money you put the numbers, how
Yeah.
much interest, how much
Yeah.
the years, how much money the bank make after 25 years.
Whoa.
When you see this number,
well, it's everyone has to make money, right? The banks are right now, are gonna find themselves in a situation where they had been destroyed on rates before, right? Where they were giving money
Now
for
they're catching
nothing.
up.
Now they're catching up.
They're
It's
catching up. There's a lot of people though in our community, honestly, people I know very closely, like they can't dream of buying a house. It's out of their, both people working, and it's
So I would tell you, if
Yeah.
you know those people,
yeah, send them your way.
send them to me. I'll
Yeah.
I'll find a way.
Awesome.
We're very creative.
Okay.
We find ways to make things work for clients. There's sometimes clients don't know that they can get approved, or they think they can't,
Right.
but they could, and sometimes it's like mind-boggling, like
this is what happened to me.
exactly. You see?
I never thought in my
There you
life
go.
I go get approval.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Baruch Hashem, we had Esther Ben Dayan, Alea Shalom.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Love
So-
Hashem.
she was
Yeah, she was
kind
amazing.
to me, and she told me, "Don't worry." Pray to Hashem and everything.
There you go. So like that's my mentality too. Like
Yeah.
I'll find a way and I'll get it done. It's about.
You'll pray for your clients and you'll play golf with them.
There you go.
So,
What else can you ask for, right?
Couple
This is
of-
for the Jewish community, right? So it's like, I mean, I don't know if that applies to everyone, right? But I mean, I would do it. But I'm saying like, listen, the idea is, in life you do things for a reason, and
Yeah.
like I think we spoke before on the
Yeah.
podcast, this is all for my family, right? So
Amazing.
to me, to be able to see my kids grow and get what they need, have what they want, like everything that I couldn't get, I want them to have, so
Beautiful.
whether it's for them or my wife, who sacrifices everything for our kids and for me, like it's for me, that's the epitome of like what you can get in life, a happy life with family and, working hard, do your ishtadlut.
Yeah.
God's going to give you what you're supposed
Amazing.
to get, right?
Sam, it's been a pleasure
Same
having
here,
you,
guys.
just giving a perspective of your background, how
Yeah.
religion played and faith and
Huge.
work, and it's like
Miracle.
Yeah, miracles, yeah,
miracles
for sure.
and slow, integration, and it's such a perspective that we hear little of. We hear a lot of extremes.
Mhm.
I went here, I went there. You know what I mean? And everything is fine. It's not always like that.
There's
You know?
way more Joe Schmoes like me than there are of
Yeah,
extremists.
but you're a
you know?
special Joe Schmo, my
Yeah,
friend.
I
And
appreciate it, man.
yeah, it's really it's good to hear that, and I think I'm really happy we had you on the show, and
I
we
appreciate being
encourage
here.
everybody to reach out and
Yeah, for sure.
to support you, and thank you.
No,
you.
thank you guys. It was really a pleasure. I
Yeah.
never thought I would be in this chair right now talking. Like this is a barber chair, right? So like
That's it.
usually I'm with Danny and me and him are
Cutting the
just
hair.
shooting the shit about
Yeah.
like finding a way to get him his best opportunity for his
Yeah.
mortgage, and whatnot. But thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Bro. You guys are
And you can give
great.
my email to BMO for the $100,000 sponsorship.
Yeah,
It's a no-brainer. And
I don't know. Like, I don't want to put anyone in a position that they're gonna regret.
we're gonna get a nice corporate email.
Yeah.
Please
Sir.
remove that last part of your.
No, look, guys, it's been a pleasure.
Awesome.
And it's been a dream. Like honestly, I love this. I think
great.
I'm gonna
We
support
spoke
you guys.
in the beginning.
Yeah.
I show him here. We're going to be a podcast. We said where?
Yeah. It was. I saw this room. I was like, this is never gonna happen. But then he's like, yeah, it's gonna work.
It's
you
gonna
know?
happen.
I'm like, okay, man, but I'm so happy, and like I'm gonna promote you guys because
Thanks, man.
I really want you guys to go far with this. It's you're doing this for the community, and I think that people hearing other people what they have to say about religion, about their faith, and all that is huge, and
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna help the kiruv of our community, and I think that's
And
some
the tolerance.
yeah, of course.
I think that's the biggest thing I took today. It's not like putting everybody in a box.
Yeah, you're right.
Teach people how to become tolerant.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Is that not the most
being human.
godly thing you can do?
Yeah,
Tolerance?
Yeah, I agree.
Somebody called me after Gedalia Fencer.
Yeah.
And after actually Rabbi Sadeh also.
Mm.
2 people called me and said, wow, what a achdut you do in that city.
Mm.
And I thought about different things to do,
Right.
but people get the message.
Yeah.
Different what you think you
Right.
Yeah,
That
of
you're
course,
putting
yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's even better, man. That's like when you get that extra, because what you were thinking of and what your goal was for this is probably gonna happen. But on top of it, you're getting something like this. It's
right.
It's huge, man. I just really thank you guys. You guys
You're
are
welcome, man.
great,
Thank
man.
you, thank you.
Really appreciate you.
Awesome.
All right.
All right.
Amazing.
Yes, that was awesome.